You know, maybe I should stop asking for shorter soundtracks if this is what we're gonna get. Yoshi's Crafted World is our third Yoshi game added to Nintendo Music, and like most of you, I presume, I'm confused. If you want to add a Yoshi soundtrack, why not Woolly World? If you want to add another Switch soundtrack, why not any of these? Crafted World is a decent game that I had fun with, but it's pretty infamous for its music being not great. But you know, it's been a while since I played the game, so let's see if maybe we were too harsh on this soundtrack. Yoshi's Crafted World's music was composed by Kazufumi Umeda, and I presume his direction was to make music that sounded cute and childlike, since Yoshi games are generally aimed at young children, hence all the recorders. The main theme is a good example of what I mean. It's a fine enough song, but in my opinion, the recorder is not a very good leading instrument. If you switched out the recorder with a flute or clarinet, I guarantee you the song would sound better. The leading synth of the mini-boss theme is also pretty annoying, and it screws up a song with an otherwise decent bass line. Crafted World follows Yoshi's story example, in that level themes are all straightforward remixes of the main theme, and Clickety Clack Attack is a pretty decent one. It sells the desert setting nicely, and I like the xylophones that symbolize the clattering of bones. Yards of Yarn is probably my favorite song in the game. I really like the acoustic guitar. It reminds me of an Animal Crossing song, in a good way. What's It Gonna Be is the most infamous song in the game for sounding like, well, this. It's awful, but I'm not gonna lie, to me it's one of those songs that's kinda so bad it's good. Floppy March is another good one. The march beat is catchy, and sure, I guess it sounds floppy. Icy Oceans is interesting. The chimes do make sense for the icy water setting, and the whistling is a nice touch. It's also longer than the other level themes in the game, so that's something. Dwelling Place of the Ninja is pretty slow though. Not terrible, but repetitive and kinda dull. A Teeny Tiny Universe is soothing. It's another song that wouldn't sound out of place in Animal Crossing, especially with a backing piano. Nighttime Crafts is too minimalistic for my liking though. There are too many fades to silence and they end up being really distracting for me. Baby Bowser's final boss theme is actually pretty good though. It's still light years behind the final boss theme from Yoshi's Island, but it has a pretty catchy beat and some dramatic flair that actually makes it a fun listen, even if it sticks out like a sore thumb compared to the rest of the music. So, were we too harsh to the soundtrack of Yoshi's Crafted World? In my opinion, yes. Don't get me wrong, it's nothing special. I'm probably not going to remember half these tracks after a week. But I hear so many people saying Crafted World's music is awful, and aside from a couple tracks, I disagree. I was surprised that I actually liked several tracks, and again, the worst track in the game is really funny to me. This may sound weird, but the soundtrack Crafted Worlds reminds me of the most is Wave Race 64's. Not because of how they sound, but because both games have several tracks that I like, but also have just enough that bother me to make me not want to listen to the music anymore. But I like Crafted World's music a little bit more than a Wave Race 64's, so I'm putting it just ahead of it on the list, at spot number 71. I'm not putting it ahead of Dr. Mario though, I'm not crazy enough to do that. I'll see you next time for the next episode of Nintendo Music Weekly. I guess the benefit of getting the not so good soundtracks relatively early on is that we won't be dreading the time they show up. That being said, it has been a little while since we've had a truly great soundtrack, so one of those next would be nice. Bye.